Ever feel like there's this incredible amount of knowledge floating around and you're just looking for a smarter way to plug into it?
Hmm.
That's kind of the puzzle we're tackling today. We're taking a deep dive into educational technology, or EdTech.
Right.
Think of it as the whole world of using tech, everything from clever software to innovative teaching methods to really boost how we learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
And with so many of us turning to online platforms for, well, everything from picking up a new hobby to getting a degree, understanding the EdTech landscape has never been more crucial for you, the listener.
That's right. Our goal in this deep dive is really to give you a clear roadmap of this landscape.
Okay.
We want to explore the different kinds of platforms out there and, maybe more importantly, help you see how they can directly support your unique learning ambitions.
Right. Make it personal.
Exactly. Whether you're driven to master a specific skill or conquer an exam or even just navigate the digital world with more confidence, there's a good chance an EdTech solution can be your key.
So what kind of info are we working with?
Well, we've sifted through a variety of information from fundamental definitions of EdTech and online learning environments to real-world examples, profiles of different learners.
Okay, the personas.
Yeah, the personas, and even a look at what using these tools actually involves day to day, like a user journey.
Okay, let's unpack this then. When we talk about online platforms, I mean, the sheer number of options can feel a bit overwhelming sometimes.
It definitely can.
But our sources help us organize these into some useful categories. So where should we begin to make sense of it all?
It's helpful, I think, to start by thinking about the core purpose of each type.
Okay.
One of the foundational elements is the Learning Management System, or LMS.
LMS, right.
These act as central online spaces where educators can organize their teaching materials, things like readings, videos,
Mm-hmm.
manage assignments, and track student progress. Imagine it as the digital equivalent of a school's central nervous system, kind of.
Right, like our source points to Google Classroom. That's a pretty familiar one, I think, especially in school.
Oh yeah, very common.
It's where teachers can share announcements, distribute resources, collect homework, almost like a digital hub for a specific course.
Exactly. And building on that idea of a central space, we then have video conferencing tools.
Ah,
These have
yeah,
become absolutely essential, particularly in recent times, for enabling that real-time interaction.
definitely.
They allow for live online classes, virtual meetings between learners and instructors, collaborative discussions, creating a sense of presence even when everyone is, miles apart.
And we're talking about platforms like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, right?
Those are the big ones, yeah.
It's interesting how these tools, which, while many of us first met in a work context,
Mhm.
have become so vital for online learning, too. It almost blurs the lines between different kinds of virtual interactions.
Precisely. Now, moving beyond the structure of a virtual classroom, we encounter online course platforms.
Okay, this sounds like where a lot of individual learners might go.
Yes, this is where you find just a vast array of courses and educational content created by experts across virtually every field imaginable.
Right.
What's fascinating here is how they've democratized access to knowledge, really on a global scale.
Okay, so this is where names like Coursera, EdX, maybe Khan Academy come to mind.
Exactly those.
It's incredible the range of subjects you can dig into, from like the details of coding to the sweep of history to the nuances of art.
Pretty much anything.
Thinking about your own learning journey, you could probably find something on these platforms to explore almost any interest, couldn't you?
Absolutely. And what's particularly noteworthy is the variety of learning experiences they offer.
How so?
While some provide pathways to full degrees or professional certifications, while others focus on shorter, more targeted courses for, say, professional development or just personal enrichment.
Ah, so different levels of commitment.
Exactly. It reflects a shift towards more flexible, sort of modular approaches to education. Then we have test preparation platforms. These are specifically engineered to help learners prepare for standardized tests.
Ah, okay. So if you, or maybe someone you know, is a high school student aiming for college and facing the SATs or ACTs,
Right.
platforms like Udemy or Career Launcher might fall into this category, offering practice exams and targeted study resources.
That's the idea. These platforms really aim to give students a competitive edge.
Makes sense.
And they often provide detailed performance analytics, feedback, helping students pinpoint their strengths and, areas needing improvement.
Gotcha. What else?
Then there are executive education platforms. These cater specifically to professionals looking to enhance their skills and advance their careers.
Okay, these sound like they're more geared towards leadership, maybe strategic thinking.
That's right.
Our sources highlight HBS Online and Inset Online as examples here. Makes you wonder how professionals in, say, your field might leverage these to stay ahead.
Precisely. Companies often partner with these platforms to upskill their workforce,
Hmm.
foster leadership development, that kind of thing.
Okay, one more.
And finally, yes, we have distance learning platforms. Now, these often overlap a bit with the online course platforms, but they place a strong emphasis on offering online courses and degree programs directly from universities and other accredited institutions worldwide.
So EdX is listed here as well.
Nice.
Okay, that makes perfect sense given its partnerships with lots of universities.
Exactly.
It highlights how a single platform can sometimes serve multiple purposes, depending on what the user actually wants.
Exit.
It seems the key is really understanding what you want to achieve to navigate these different categories effectively.
That's a crucial insight. The lines can indeed blur, but grasping these general categories gives you a valuable framework for exploring the options out there.
Okay.
Now, what becomes really compelling, I think, is considering who these diverse platforms are actually serving. What are their individual motivations?
Right, because EdTech isn't a one-size-fits-all solution, is it?
Not at all.
Our sources give us these user personas, which are basically different profiles of learners with distinct needs and goals. As we go through these, maybe listeners can think about which ones resonate most with their own experiences, or perhaps someone they know. It really brings out the human element behind the tech.
Exactly. Let's consider the elementary school student.
Okay.
Here, the example is using online tutoring for subjects like math and science. You can imagine a parent seeking personalized support, maybe, to bolster their child's academic performance in specific areas.
That makes perfect sense. Online tutoring can offer that focused attention that might be, well, challenging in a larger classroom.
It really can. Then we have the high school student. They're using these platforms for test practice, specifically to gear up for those crucial college entrance exams like the SAT and ACT.
Right. This is a scenario with pretty significant stakes, isn't it? It directly impacts their future academic paths.
Absolutely. And these platforms can offer a wealth of practice tests, detailed explanations, targeted strategies, all designed for those specific exams. It potentially increases a student's confidence and preparedness.
Yeah, I can see that.
Now let's think about the college student. Perhaps someone more in line with your own current learning endeavors, or maybe many of our listeners.
Possibly.
The source mentions improving coding skills and gaining practical knowledge through online courses. This really underscores how EdTech can complement formal education, or even provide pathways to entirely new, in-demand skill sets.
Definitely something many listeners can probably relate to. And it highlights how EdTech can bridge that crucial gap between, say, theoretical knowledge from the classroom and the practical skills needed in the real world.
It really can. Then we also have the senior learner. They might be leveraging these tools to acquire fundamental digital literacy skills. This is so vital, isn't it, for staying connected with loved ones, accessing essential online services in today's digital age. It truly is. It's about empowerment, really, and making sure everyone has the chance to participate fully in an increasingly digital society.
Good point.
Then there's the professional, looking towards executive education to cultivate leadership and strategic management skills.
Right, and this ties directly back to those executive education platforms we discussed earlier.
Exactly. It emphasizes continuous learning and career advancement in the professional sphere.
And it's not just about the individual learners either, is it? We also see the parent persona.
Ah, yes, the parent.
Actively monitoring their child's progress in, say, online test preparation courses. So EdTech also provides valuable tools for parents to stay engaged and supportive.
That's right. The transparency offered by many of these platforms, allowing parents to track progress, maybe identify areas where their child might need extra support, that can be incredibly beneficial.
Yeah, definitely.
Finally, we have the distance learner. This is someone pursuing a degree online from an institution perhaps located in another state or even another country.
Wow.
This really underscores the remarkable accessibility that EdTech can provide, breaking down those geographical barriers to education.
It's really striking to see this wide range of users from young students to seasoned professionals all harnessing these technologies for such diverse and important goals.
It is.
It truly highlights the adaptability and reach of EdTech.
It does. And to get a more tangible sense of how this all plays out, our sources offer a glimpse into a user journey
Ah, the journey.
on a
Again.
platform referred to as Vedantu, focusing on a college student aiming to enhance their coding abilities. Now, while we don't have all the specifics of this particular platform,
Right.
the stages outlined give us a valuable insight into the typical user experience, I think.
Okay, so let's walk through this step by step. The first stage is select study goal. It looks like the platform starts by personalizing the learning path right away, suggesting relevant goals based on the student's chosen class.
Yeah.
So if you say you're in college and want to learn to code, it might propose specific programming languages or projects aligned with that. That initial personalization seems pretty key for engagement.
Exactly. It's about creating a learning experience tailored to the individual's objectives right from the start.
Okay, what's next?
Next, we have class listings. This is where the student can browse all the available subjects, and importantly, there's mention of video topics available for offline learning.
Oh, that's interesting. Offline learning.
Yeah, it offers a significant degree of flexibility, accommodating learners who might not always have consistent internet access.
That's actually a really thoughtful feature, especially when you consider learners in different places or with varying levels of connectivity.
It is. Then comes registration, which is,
Yeah.
pretty self-explanatory.
Standard stuff, yeah.
Hmm.
Entering details to create an account.
Right. Just the standard process of entering the necessary student details to get started on the platform.
Got it.
Once registered, the student can proceed to scheduling classes for live interactive sessions.
Live sessions, okay.
And it's interesting to note that these scheduled classes are then integrated into the student's personal calendar.
Oh, handy.
Yeah, it's a simple but effective way to promote organization and, well, time management for online learning.
Definitely a helpful feature for staying on track with your studies. What follows that?
Following that is assignments. Students undertake tasks related to their enrolled subjects, and their performance is meticulously tracked.
Right, the tracking part.
This feedback loop is so critical for effective learning, allowing students to gauge their understanding and identify areas where they might need to focus more effort.
Absolutely. Regular assessment, progress monitoring. That's fundamental.
It is. Finally, we have the doubt clearing stage. Now, this is a particularly intriguing feature.
Oh, how does that work?
Students have the ability to upload an image of a specific question they're struggling with
Okay.
and receive clarification from others within the platform's community. It sounds like a peer-to-peer support system baked right into the learning environment,
That's actually a really clever way to address those moments when you just hit a roadblock in your learning.
isn't it?
It's almost like having a study group accessible like 247.
Kind of, yeah.
So this user journey, even as an example, really provides a tangible illustration of how these platforms are designed to guide a student through the whole process, right? From initial goal setting to getting support when they run into challenges.
It does. And the overarching message from all of this, really, is the sheer scope and depth of the EdTech world.
Yeah.
It's far more than just taking courses online. It's a dynamic, evolving ecosystem of tools and platforms specifically designed to meet an incredibly diverse range of learning needs and ambitions. It provides unprecedented flexibility and opens up access to education in a multitude of innovative ways.
So reflecting on everything we've explored today, from the different categories of platforms to the diverse user personas, and even this detailed look at a user journey.
Yeah.
It's undeniable that EdTech has fundamentally reshaped how we learn, how we access information, and how we pursue our educational goals.
Indeed. And considering the sheer variety of EdTech options now available, tailored to such specific needs, it makes you think, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, what's one skill or area of knowledge that you, our listener, have perhaps been putting off exploring?
Ah,
And could an online platform be the very key to finally unlocking that potential? It's certainly a question worth pondering.